Hi, hello. Welcome to the episode of Isaiah's Newsstand. It's your host, Isaiah Edwards. The date is November the 9th, 2025. Hopefully this episode finds you well, in good spirits and high hopes. As for me, I'm doing pretty good. Happy Sunday. Hopefully it's been a fun day for you. As for me, it's been a good day. Dare I say, it was, as fun as you can get for a working weekend day. So yeah, we'll start from the top. So, we got up, got ready for the day. Actually got a good amount of sleep, so I'll take it. No bumps in the road. We'll take it. So I felt pretty good and ready for my Sunday shift. We get there, and I don't remember if I mentioned it or not, but this was a weird shift for the fact that I had to work in a different department, which is something I haven't done in years. I think about 2 years. So I finally wind up topside for the first time in a long time. And it felt weird. I had to get a lay of the land. I had to, figure out really, what I was going to be doing. Because essentially I knew I was cardboard running, which that is essentially the setup for my main job, which, I'm going on, one of the floors or both the floors, depending on. And I have an empty cardboard buggy, or I am filling up empty cardboard buggies until one is filled. I take a filled buggy, take it to the mezzanine, drop it off. They take it, they send it down to the crusher. That's the job of a cardboard runner, right? So I come in and I don't really know even what floor I should be on between the two floors. So I figured, hey, let's just kind of go around both floors and we'll kind of walk around until we get stuck in. So I wind up kind of going back and forth between the two until I wind up on the third floor and I see that, okay, work's starting to pile up. I got to chop through these boxes. Let's do it. So I'm doing that. And I just start feeling like, okay, this is cool, but I can tell it's going to get messy soon. I can tell things are kind of getting a little busy. And, we need more empty buggies. Needless to say, I didn't have a walkie. I didn't really want to get one at first. So I'm just like, maybe this will all sort itself out. The powers that be will move and I can just kind of be a cog here, keep chopping, keep hacking, and everything will be good. Everything will be irie. Well, everything just kind of kept piling up. So I was like, all right, maybe it's time to take some initiative. So I managed, excuse me. Wow. Well, clear my throat there. I managed to find a walkie and I get it. And I'm like, okay, let me go ahead and call this in. I got a full buggy. I'm gonna go ahead and leave it on the mezzanine and, we'll get an empty one. Well, I make the call. No one answers. Crickets. And I'm like, Oh, I'm just chopped, huh? I guess I'm on some bullshit, huh? I later kind of came to the conclusion that I might have gotten the door wrong. I called out, hey, I need an empty buggy here at this door. And they just didn't understand because I was using old jargon from years back. It's that door doesn't go by that name anymore. I was like, so maybe it was that. I don't know. I didn't get confirmation. But needless to say, the way this used to go was I used to be able to put a buggy up, get a buggy back. That's the way it's supposed to go. But I get it. It's a weekend shift. You get different staff down there. I understand that this was just a bit odd. So I kind of am just in the thick of it. I'm making the most of it. And then I want to say an hour before, maybe a little bit before an hour, before my shift is up, I get a call on the walkie. They go, hey, Isaiah, actually, you can go down to the crusher now. And I was like, okay, cool. So I spent my last hour at the crusher. It was very slow. I think I maybe did 2 buggies and then I just hung out. So overall, the work shift was weird, but it went well. Also, even though I felt like I was in the thick of it, I noticed that while I was downstairs at the crusher, they called some more I guess maybe the heavy hitters from the other floor. They came through, they sorted it out. Everything was irie when I finally went back up to drop off the walkie-talkie. So overall, it was a good work day. I think we're off on a good foot for the next week. in terms of just how the crusher looks, how the cardboard looks. So knock on wood, we don't have any missed pickups or anything crazy, nothing weird, nothing wonky. We're going good into this next week of peak. So here's hoping it stays that way. Let's see here. Post work, we went to the store, and I went to the Kroger. I spent way too much money. I was really upset about it, really stressed out about it, but I know that that's just the way it goes right now. Groceries are expensive. There's really no way to cut it unless you're just not going to get stuff, unless you're just not going to get anything. So, that was a bit of a bummer, but hey, we got what we needed to get, so I'm happy about that. Post getting the groceries home and everything, we wind up going to the gym. Gym was nice and empty, so that was good. I was able to get on a Smith machine. That was also good. Also, I feel like that's a double plus because I don't think I mentioned it yesterday, but one of the Smith machines is down. So that already, in my mind, makes it feel like, okay, there's no shot I'm going to get a Smith machine for the week. So I was really happy to at least get it for Sunday before come tomorrow because I'm sure it's going to be even busier. So yeah, I was able to get that in. I had a good, weight training half. I had a good cardio half. So everything went well. Like it was a good gym session. So, overall, in pretty much every aspect, it was a good day. It was a solid day. So I'll take it. Let's see here. Is there anything else I really wanted to report on my personal news? No, I think we're good. I think we're good there. Let's go ahead and do our startup and let's get into some news. Now, I know I already did an Offbeat episode kind of recently, but, I don't know. Today felt a little bit slower in the news cycle. So, more or less, there's a few stories to kind of run through, and that'll be that. That being said, I did want to add that it looks like there may be an end to the government shutdown. So, granted, we'll wait till Monday. We'll wait till potentially later in the week to get confirmation about that. But it looks like both sides may be coming together to come to some kind of conclusion here to get the government back on and running because it's crazy. I think we are now 40 days plus 40 days now. So, that's wild. So really hoping that, we can come bringing that good news into next week, but we will see. I'll keep you posted. But, excuse me. Our first story for the day from CNN. Nearly 1 million people flee and at least 2 killed as a second typhoon in a week slams into the Philippines. A second typhoon in a week has made landfall in the Philippines and killed at least 2 people, with nearly 1 million residents fleeing the looming destructive winds and life-threatening storm surges. Feng Wang, known locally as Yuan, follows on the heels of Typhoon Kalmegi, which killed almost 200 people in the central part of the archipelago nation, as well as 5 people in Vietnam. The eye of the typhoon made landfall on Sunday night, barreling over the coastal municipality of Dinalungan in the northwestern Aurora province, according to the country's weather service. Civil Defense reported that 1 person drowned in the Catan I'm messing this up. Catan Duanes province, and firefighters recovered the body of a woman trapped under debris of a collapsed home in Catbalogan City, according to Reuters. So yeah, I imagine there will be more to bring up from this story in terms of just either out of the Philippines or out of the region in general from this typhoon, Feng Wang. It's really sad to have something so back to back. Really it feels like back to back to back. Just in general in terms of those natural weather disasters over the past few weeks. But obviously these last 2, specifically in the Asian region. It's obviously always unfortunate to cover these stories, but I do feel always compelled to talk about it, at least highlight it. Try to keep up with it as best I can. But yeah, obviously condolences to the people, who either lost their lives, lost, their homes, struggling to find shelter, struggling to pick up their lives after the fact. I know that this is all just so much to go through. And, then you got to get back to a hard living that you have, just in general in the everyday. So, my heart goes out to those people. All right, let's move on, though, to our next story. From Yahoo Sports. Sports? Whoa. Yahoo Sports. I don't know where that came from. Anyway, Guardians pitchers Luis Ortiz, Emmanuel Class, charged with sports betting, money laundering, conspiracy by DOJ. I don't know why I read that headline the way I did, but I did. So deal with it. Cleveland Guardians pitchers Luis Ortiz and Emmanuel Class have been indicted by the Department of Justice, the United States District Attorney's Office announced Sunday. The pair, who have been on indefinite leave amid an MLB gambling investigation, have been indicted with several charges, including conspiracy to influence sports betting or conspiracy to influence sporting contests by bribery and money laundering conspiracy. In a 23-page indictment, the DOJ alleges the two pitchers conspired with bettors to intentionally throw balls so their co-conspirators could cash in on wagers related to the type of pitch. Prosecutors say Class began participating in this scheme as early as May of 2023, while Ortiz joined in June of 2025. Per the DOJ, Class's role earned his co-conspirators at least $400,000 in rigged bets. Ortiz was arrested in Boston on Sunday, while Class is not yet in custody. In one of the indictments on June 15th, prosecutors claim Ortiz was paid $5,000 for throwing the intentional ball, while Class was given $5,000 for facilitating it. The other suspicious pitch on June 17th netted Ortiz and Class $7,000 each. Additionally, before the June 27th incident, Class allegedly withdrew $50,000 in cash and gave $15,000 to a co-conspirator to place money on Ortiz's pitch. Ortiz's two rigged pitches allegedly led bettors to win at least $60,000. If convicted of all charges, Class and Ortiz face up to 65 years in prison. That's heavy. And I'm sure there's going to be fines galore that they're going to have to pay out for this shit too. So yeah, they're not fucking playing around with this shit. Ortiz was placed on leave on July 3rd after MLB flagged two of the starters' pitches in June. Both of the suspicious pitches were balls thrown well outside the zone, with both happening at the very beginning of an inning. In both incidents, large amounts were placed on the outcome of the first pitch of the inning. Clace, I don't know. We're going to say Class. Maybe I'll come out and realize it's Clace, and that's a mea culpa in advance. Considered one of the best closers in the league, was placed on leave on July 28th, though his connection to the league's gambling investigation was initially unknown. Both pitchers were initially set to go off leave August 31st, but the MLB extended leave until further notice on the day it was supposed to expire. MLB contacted federal law enforcement at the outset of its investigation and has fully cooperated throughout the process. The league said in a statement to ESPN, "We are aware of the indictment and today's arrest, and our investigation is ongoing." Per the indictment, Clace agreed to deliberately throw certain pitches, often on the first pitch of an at-bat as long ago as 2023. The incident includes multiple examples, attaching photos that show Clace's pitches landing in the dirt or even the grass in front of home plate. Now, I don't know. I'm not a baseball expert, nor am I an expert in how these kind of things go in terms of selling it, but that seems so obvious that like this is you're throwing. Like, this is a bad, you're not doing this earnestly. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong here, but that just feels like a bad flop. But usually you would think like you would want to throw something that almost, seems like you want it to seem like, yeah, we intentionally were trying to throw not a ball, but like we just made a bad throw. right? I'm saying this all funky, but you know what I mean. Like, it just seems weird to make it so obvious that it's like, hey, oops, I guess I'm just cold or something. I guess I'm not locked in yet. Give me a second. Like, I don't know, man. But then again, once again, I have no baseball sports acumen here, so maybe someone could like fill me in. Like, no, that actually kind of does make sense, maybe. But let's see. The first incidents took place in May of June of 2023, with additional incidents occurring this season. Bettors placed more than 100 wagers on pitch speed, and ball HBP bets in 2023. Per the indictment, one indictment in April of 2025 led several bettors to win around $15,000. In one incident in May of 2025, after bettors had placed $4,000 in total wagers that the pitch would be a ball, Clace threw a pitch that a batter swung at that was ruled a strike. Per the indictment, 20 minutes after the strike, the primary bettor sent Clace a gif of a man hanging himself with toilet paper. I shouldn't laugh, I'm sorry. Clace responded with a gif of a sad puppy 10 minutes later. And maybe this is answering the question that I'm pitching here, that if you throw something that like, oh no, this looked like a good pitch, it looked like I was earnestly trying, then guess what? The batter is going to actually hit it, and that's not what you want. Like, all the money is riding on you throwing. So you have to throw a bad ball. Like, it just has to be a ball. You literally cannot afford it, as per the bet that's being set up, behind the scenes here. So I don't know. I'm sorry. There's a little bit more I guess I can read. Why not? We've already read all of it, pretty much. In connection with the investigation, Ohio regulators began drafting a bill to ban certain types of micro bets in August at the request of Governor Mike DeWine, which I feel like there should be like a boo. And look, I think to a certain extent, don't get me wrong, I think it's reasonable to not want this. I think this is bad for the game. I think it's bad for humanity. I think it's bad for the people even making the bets. Like, this is making you a degenerate in such a terrible, fast-tracked way, and you will inevitably lose. You will inevitably lose so much fucking money if you go just fucking balls deep into this kind of betting scheme where you're just like, yeah, I'm not even betting on wins and losses of the overall game. I'm betting on micro things, like moments in the game where I can just like connect this, get maybe all these like in some kind of crazy parlay and make a bunch of money. Like, no, dude, you're never going to make a bunch of money. You're only going to lose a lot of money over time. It's just a matter of how fast, really. So, like, don't do it. No. But, I mean, obviously for these guys involved in this fucking conspiracy here, they weren't trying to lose. They weren't finna lose. It was all set up for them that these balls were going to hit the mark. And when they didn't, then they were going to send a weird, a gif about it. So, yeah, do I think this is the right call in terms of saying, hey, let's get this shit out of here. Let's get this, like, let's stop with the micro bets. I do. I actually do. But, like, we all know money talks, and bullshit, that motherfucker gonna walk. So I don't know what to tell you. Take your base. Like, at the end of the day, the motherfuckers are gonna be here to make money, and it's on the table. It's on the floor. It's at bat. It's at the pitch. I don't know. You just gotta be careful out there, man. I don't know. Like I said, me personally, I ain't taking no bet. I'm good. But I'm totally down if my friend ever hits me up and said, yeah, man, we hit that shit. Let's fucking go. Good for you. I'm happy. We live in a capitalist society. It is inevitable, and this isn't the first time we talked about it. We recently covered shit like this with basketball, and the whole fucking poker game bullshit, and the mafia was involved. Like, once we let the devil into this shit, once we let the devil into this arena, so to speak, it was game on. And I don't think we're ever going to get the motherfucker out. You know what I mean? I don't think people really want the motherfucker out. They want a chance to, like, be that immersed in the game. I think people always have and they always will. Like, I mean, that's why you had fucking bookies back in the day, and you still do have bookies today, So no matter what, whether you're on the books or you're off the books, there's a way to make a fucking play. You know what I'm saying? There you go. It's just a matter of, do you want to make it? And is the fix already in? Because I think that's definitely now more than ever like a certified thing. You know what I mean? You can't escape it. It's not just any one game. We're not just talking baseball here. We're talking anything and everything. So, there's an app for that. So that means there's probably a racket for it as well to match. So, all right. We have one more story that I wanted to cover, and then I'll let you go. Like I said, this wasn't supposed to be a long episode, but we'll see. We'll see how this goes. See where the spirit of the news takes me. Oh, excuse me. It's a little bit of a burp. A little bad burp there. Let me take my last break, and we'll go ahead and close it out. Ooh. Oh, they're talking about snowfall. I don't like that. I'm not excited about that. It's been like cold rain all day too. So that's been icky, kind of gross. But I mean, so it goes. It's fall weather, which I'm sure I've said this before. Fall is my favorite season. That really hasn't changed. That being said, I just hate being cold. I love the top part of fall, hate the bottom end of fall because we all know what's coming. Ooh, that cold ass motherfucking winter, and I hate winter. Ooh wee. All right. Our last story comes from Lad Bible, which y'all know. I always have to make it known that I'm not the biggest fan of pulling from Lad Bible. I don't know. I just kind of feels like a lot of junk news sometimes. I don't maybe love their style of coverage. A lot of ads. I have my scruples. That being said, this was a story that drew my attention, and I said, all right, we'll cover it from them. So, dismembered body of crypto millionaire and wife discovered in Dubai desert. The bodies of both a crypto millionaire and his wife have allegedly been discovered in a United Arab Emirates desert after being killed and dismembered. Roman Novak, 38, was a Russian crypto multimillionaire, and his wife, Anna, 37, was a former TV reporter in their home country. It is believed that two fighters from the ongoing war between Russia and Ukraine and a former murder squad detective were behind the killing. The couple were last seen last month when they drove out to meet investors in Dubai's mountain resort Hada with a large ransom demand following through it was left not paid, leading to their demise. It's believed that they were killed in a villa in Hada nearly a month ago, as 3 Russian suspects have since been detained in St. Petersburg, and the Stavropol and Krasnodar regions of Russia are getting back from the Arab nation. Let's see. Allegedly, they were the investors who kidnapped the couple and demanded that the millionaire hand over the password to his crypto wallet. Roman didn't refuse, as the news outlet Fontanka reported that the wallet was actually empty. The men who are detained have been named as Russian citizens Konstantin Shakit, 53, an ex-homicide investigator who is now a drug smuggler, as well as Yuri Sharipov, 46, and Vladimir Delkin, 45, who both served for Russia in the war in Ukraine. As Roman and Anna failed to raise a ransom, they were killed and dismembered, as all 3 detained suspects will be remanded in custody until December 28th, while it is said that 5 other Russians, all below the age of 25, are linked to the case. The pair were based in Dubai and often took to social media of their apparent lavish lifestyles, including supercars and private jets, though they would be extorted for cryptocurrency, as reports cited law enforcement. They have left behind underage children who have since been collected by their parents following the horrific incident. Svetlana Petrenko from the Russian Investigative Committee stated the investigation has established that the killers had accomplices who helped organize the abduction. They rented cars and premises where the victims were held by force. After the murders, the perpetrators disposed of the knives and the victims' personal belongings, leaving them in different emirates. The committee further confirmed that the couple were meant to meet investors in Hada, as their personal driver took them to a car park by a lake, where they were transferred to another car and never seen alive again. Roman had apparently messaged contacts around this time to reveal he was stuck in the mountains on the Oman border and needed $200,000. While their phones were tracked for 2 days, revealing they went from Hada to Oman, then to Cape Town, South Africa, where the signals vanished early in October. Investigations revealed that the killers planned for the phones to be left on to mislead authorities, though Russian and UAE law enforcement worked together to solve the double murder. Fondanka went on. Emirati police found traces of Anna Novak's blood at the villa, blood in the rented car, a cache of knives near the crime scene, and the organizers' T-shirts left behind in haste. Relatives close to the couple raised the alarm, as Roman was under investigation at the time, as he was accused of the theft of over 380 million pounds from crypto investors, as he claimed it was for business development. A local report suggested that the victims of his scam were businessmen from China and the Middle Eastern countries, while Komsomolskaya Pravda, or KP, newspaper noted that the man presented as someone operating on the level of Arab sheiks. Ooh, so it seems like he was on his grifter shit, this Roman guy. And maybe it came back to bite him. Maybe it was just a case of like, no, we see that this guy is such a big fish. Let's try to pump him for money. That is not a story that is new in the timeline, unfortunately, or I dare I say fortunately, depending on who you are. I mean, I think a lot of times people say these are big fish who are just playing around with fake money, and they're easy fucking targets, and they try to hit them up one way or another, either like in broad daylight and try to take like a thing that they think is their device so they can just like harvest it and get it. That can usually be hard. More times than not, they do try to take on a means of like, hey, we're gonna abduct you, and or your family, we're gonna hold you for ransom, so you give up that fucking code, you give up that fucking key or whatever we need to get your money. We covered one story where literally a guy was, he was abducted. I want to put that in quotations. I feel like I learned more kind of listening from TrueAnon, but it was this guy from Italy. And it all kind of takes place in New York, like some kind of like apartment kind of situation. But essentially, I think him and a friend, wind up, holding this guy up in a house and trying to get his code this whole time. And they kind of torture him. I say kind of, but it's such a weird fucking story. They torture him and all this fucking shit. And eventually he winds up escaping with like barely any clothes on. Like shit was fucking wild. So, I mean, the crypto world is a very dangerous, scandalous fucking place. I wouldn't want to be into it. I know that the potential riches are boundless, but I mean, like the previous episode or previous, story, it's a bad bet in my opinion. You're playing with fake money in a way, but I know it's real. But the things that are really real with it, I don't know. It's complicated and usually dark in my opinion. So I don't know. I don't like touching crypto. I do like talking about, crypto true crime stories though. So this tickled my fancy. So I said, okay, Lad Bible, I'm game. I'll read it. Yeah, that's more or less the story there. That's more or less all we have for today. So yeah, I mean, guard your wallet, guard your families. I don't know. I mean, at least if you got one of them crypto wallets with a lot of money in it, okay? Just be careful out there. And don't scam. You know what I mean? Like, that's got to be some fucking bad karma. I don't know if you believe in that kind of thing or not, but like, people gonna pull your card eventually. So yeah, I mean, we've learned some things today. At least in the last two stories. You know what I mean? Don't play a rigged game. Don't rig the game. That's just gonna come back on you, bro. So be careful. Anyway, that's it. That's all I have for today. No shilling. It's a Sunday, so hopefully I see you soon for some more good news. I love ya. Bye-bye. Mwah.